Hello, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you all today. For those of you that don't know me, I'm George Henry. I'm National Operations Manager for Road Safety Policy and Education at the Scottish Government, which essentially means that I have overall responsibility for the delivery of the Government's casualty reduction targets through the Road Safety Framework to 2020, the development of the new targets and the new framework to 2030, as well as overseeing all of Road Safety Scotland's publicity and learning functions. I've been in post for around 18 months now, and before that I was Head of Road Policy at the Scottish Government. But previous to that, I worked in road safety for over a decade. So it's nice to return back to road safety at such a crucial time in the terms of government meeting its casualty reduction targets of 2020 and setting out where we are heading for the next 10 years. Scotland has always had a long-standing history when it comes to road safety, and the Scottish Government remains committed to achieving safer road travel in Scotland. So where exactly are we now in terms of our road safety performance? The latest stats confirm that for another year, overall casualties in Scotland's roads are at the lowest level since annual records began in 1950, with a 9% reduction on overall casualties from 2018's figures. The decrease is welcomed. However, there has been an increase in the number of people who have tragically died on our roads. And while we are on track to exceed the 2020 reduction targets for road fatalities, this fact provides no comfort at all to the friends and family who have sadly lost their lives. We're also on course to meet our other targets, but we are well aware that there is a lot more work that is requiring to be done in terms of road safety in this country. Throughout 2019, we've been working hard with our stakeholders to focus our collective efforts and continuing to drive down casualties in Scotland with an aim of meeting the targets. At the same time, we were working with our stakeholders in the development of the new Road Safety Framework to 2030, which I'm happy to be speaking to you about today. We began by hosting a number of workshops asking our stakeholders about the challenges that they're facing when it comes to road safety delivery. And when we then set up a number of internal and external working groups that's helped shape the document and give people the opportunity to really feed into the development of that. Now, you don't need me to tell you how bad 2020 has been and how challenging it's been for everybody, and that's putting it lightly. It's had a major impact on the way that we live not only how we live our lives, but also our workloads and our priorities and how we deliver those. And like everyone else in government, we've had to kind of pivot to ensure that we can respond to ministers' needs through the pandemic. As we were working through the development of the Road Safety Framework, Scotland actually published a new National Transport Strategy in February 2020 as well. That sets out an ambitious and compelling vision for our transport system for the next 20 years, one that protects the climate and improves our lives. The strategy advocates a vision for Scotland's transport system that will help create great places, a sustainable, inclusive, safe and accessible transport network that's helping deliver a healthier, fairer and more prosperous Scotland for communities, business and our visitors. Now, it sets out priorities to support that vision, reduces inequalities, takes climate actions, helps deliver inclusive economic growth and improves our health and well-being. And within these priorities, there's a greater focus on reducing inequalities and taking climate action to ensure that we address the key challenges that we're facing. We're now in an environment where we need to move to a low and zero carbon transport. And that's essential for our future well-being. In response to the global climate emergency, the Scottish Government has made one of the most ambitious climate commitments in the world to achieve net zero greenhouse gases emissions by 2045. Over the 20-year period of the NTS, the role of transport in achieving this target will be crucial and will require further development and use of low carbon technology. It will also require significant societal changes, including a reduction in the demand for unsustainable travel. Importantly, the NTS2 signals the future direction for transport and provides a context for which the decisions in and beyond government will need to be made. From local and central governments and regional transport partnerships implementing policies to businesses and individuals taking account of their actions and impacts when making travel decisions, we all have a responsibility for delivering the strategy and making sure it's a success. These ambitions also extend to the strategic transport investments decisions that will be made as part of the second Strategic Transport Projects Review. Now, the draft Road Safety Framework to 2030 has taken into consideration our government's ambitions, as well as the overarching context in which road safety operates. Road safety, policy and delivery will play a pivotal role in supporting policies and priorities, and we can help achieve outcomes across a number of strategic priority areas for the government. The climate emergency, active sustainable travel, the health, education and justice strategies, as well as our planning in place frameworks. Road safety plays a part in all of them, and we need to work together to ensure that we are delivering cross-cutting initiatives that are helping each other and delivering our objectives collectively. The new road safety framework will sit within the wider UN and EU context, and for example, proposed road casualty reduction targets for 2030 is taking cognizance of the UN resolution improving global road safety, which was adopted in August, as well as the Stockholm Declaration, which was agreed by UN member states in February of this year, calling for a reduction in road traffic deaths and serious injuries by at least 50% from 2020 to 2030. In June 2019, the European Commission published its EU Roads Policy Framework 2021 to 2030, which contains the EU's long-term strategic goal of Vision Zero, where no deaths or serious injuries on Europe's roads by 2050. Many of the road safety issues in the last decade at UN and EU level have also been experienced in Scotland. There has been a substantial reduction in killed and serious injured casualties since the 1970s, but the recent plateauing of these reductions means that road safety needs to be back at the top of the agenda. Most developed countries recognise that to achieve further reductions in KSIs, a step change in road safety delivery is required, from providing focus on improved joint working to embedding the safe system ambition and approach into the delivery of national and local activity. Now, our vision for Scotland is to have the best road safety performance in the world by 2030. It's unacceptable that anyone is killed or seriously injured on our roads, and this framework identifies the part that everyone has to play in ensuring our long-term aspiration that the Vision Zero does become a reality. It builds upon the approach and the actions set out in our first road safety framework, Go Safe on Scotland's Roads, It's Everyone's Responsibility, which was published in 2009, and it recognises the significant contributions it has made to meeting the 2020 casualty reduction targets. The last framework has served us well, but I also believe that the previous 96 actions is not suitable for us, and a more strategic approach is required going forward. And in reality, if we implement challenging casualty reduction targets, then these will not be achievable by doing things the way that we're doing them now. That is why we need to make a change in the way that road safety is delivered in Scotland. Drawing on the latest evidence, it reflects recent successes, highlights its key challenges for the immediate and long term, and it sets out new ambitious targets supported by key performance indicators and strategic actions for the next decade. Now, I believe that this will help shape our collective effort, inspire collaboration and frame a shared vision for the future of road safety in Scotland. Now, the Safe System approach to road safety delivery is international best practice. It sets out an ambitious approach to road safety management based on well-established safety and organisational principles, using current knowledge about how to effectively manage for better results, and builds on best practice using innovative solutions and new technologies. Now, the Safe System comprises both an explicit goal and a strategy for which it can be delivered, and we are proposing to fully embed the Safe System approach at the national, regional and local level in Scotland for the first time. To help achieve our vision, the framework identifies 5 outcomes: safe road use, safe roads and roadsides, safe speeds, safe vehicles and post-crash response, which describe road safety environment that it aims to deliver. And these outcomes align with the 5 pillars of the Safe System. The new framework has a long-term goal of moving close to zero fatalities and serious injuries in road transport by 2050, and en route to 2050, the following interim targets to 2030 have been proposed based on a 2014-18 baseline. So a 50% reduction in people being killed and seriously injured on our roads, and a 60% reduction in children being killed or seriously injured on our roads. Measuring progress in meeting the interim targets to 2030 requires the use of indicators, the most important one being the number of deaths and serious injuries. But the Safe System approach relies on gaining a much clearer understanding of the different issues which influence overall safety performance. And as such, a number of other indicators have been developed, which are categorised as either intermediate measures, tracking performance of casualty figures for specific user groups, or key performance indicators, which are measuring observed road safety behaviours, vehicle safety, and road infrastructure. Now, we are proposing 10 strategic actions that are aligned to the government's commitments around climate, active sustainable travel, enforcement, education, technology, changing attitudes and behaviours, health, funding and resourcing, knowledge and data analysis, and speed. I want speed to be a key focus of the framework going forward, and I want to make speeding to be seen in the same way that drink and drug driving is viewed as being socially unacceptable. Now, these actions will be supported by annual delivery plans, and these plans should be flexible to address our current and emerging casualty trends and groups. Their delivery will be monitored through a 3-tier structure of framework governance. This will cover the national, regional and local level, and we see this as improving the flow of communication from local to national level and vice versa. Now, I want this framework to be a live document as it proceeds through its 10-year life. I want my team to lead and inspire the country to make improvements in road safety by reducing casualties, as it is fundamental that we really all do play our part in that. Together, we have a real opportunity to make a difference, and raising the national conversation on road safety is key going forward. Nobody should suffer death or serious injury on our roads, and I believe that this is a first step in us making positive changes over the next 10-year period. Now, the road safety framework is still actually out to public consultation until the 1st of December, and I would welcome any views that you may have, and if you wish to offer any, they would be gratefully accepted. I hope that you have found this useful, and I hope that you enjoy all the other presentations, and I look forward to working with you all in the coming months and years, and let's improve road safety right across our whole entire country and make a real difference. Thank you very much for your time.